the ornate brick house standing at I-95 and Jackson. The home serves as a silent witness to its former owner, a fearless man who roared like a lion. But look closely. You won't find any marker dedicated to this pioneer history has forgotten.
I realize he may be the most significant historical figure that no one knows about.
John Mitchell Jr.'s largely unknown tale reads like fiction.
Without a doubt, he was on that cutting edge of civil rights.
Let my people go.
Born a slave in Henrico in 1863, Mitchell's early years were shaped during Reconstruction.
He was not held back from reading. He was not held back from learning.
Mitchell used his education to climb the social ladder, and he tried pulling everyone along with him.
It probably helped in a lot of ways in the rise of the middle class of the African American community.
In 1884, at 21, Mitchell grabbed the reins of the Richmond Planet, becoming editor of one of the nation's oldest black newspapers.
To read it, you felt like you were reading something of heft and significance.
At the helm of the Planet, Mitchell would leave his mark in a most unorthodox way.
When it came to lynching, the whole idea of lynching was barbaric to him and illegal. It flew in the face of civil law.
In every edition, Mitchell would splash images and print lists of people lynched across America.
Think about it. Personally, his own human rights. Being a black man, I'm sure he could identify with it very strongly.
He was pretty fearless in what he would publish.
Mitchell's anti-lynching crusade and blistering editorials gained him notoriety.
He was getting death threats regularly.
But Mitchell never wavered, often riding armed and alone to rural Virginia, reporting on murderous mobs.
He stood behind his voice. It wasn't just all talk.
We're talking about a newspaper that looks very much like a modern newspaper, and yet we're talking about lynching.
Mitchell also founded Mechanic Savings, helping disenfranchised blacks secure loans, helped build the Lee Street Armory, represented Jackson Ward on city council, and in 1921 became the first black man in Virginia to run for governor.
Certainly among the most prominent African Americans of the city, involved in just about every kind of enterprise that you can imagine.
In 1904, nearly 50 years before Montgomery's legendary bus boycott, John Mitchell railed against Richmond's segregated trolley system.
He told the people in all of the churches, you must walk until we are equal.
Everybody respected him because he spoke his mind.
And people listened. 6 months later, with ridership dwindling, the troubled trolley company folded.
It was bold. It was very bold, but that was his style, to wake people up.
By the 20s, Mitchell's influence would weaken. His bank closed after accusations he misused thousands of dollars. He was later cleared of all charges.
When Reconstruction was done and Jim Crow came in, they went after him. There was a concerted effort to actually make sure that he was not able to carry on the things that he started.
His reputation damaged, the episode took its toll on the fighting editor. At the age of 66, Mitchell died in his home in December of 1929.
I'm afraid that John Mitchell has just become one of those lost figures of Richmond history.
Mitchell is buried in an unmarked grave, supposedly next to his mother in an overgrown lot at Richmond's Evergreen Cemetery.
I think it's beyond a shame. I think it's an injustice.
Historian Selden Richardson believes John Mitchell deserves so much more, especially in a city that embraces its past.
His memory is slipping away, and his vanished tombstone is certainly emblematic of that loss.
Mitchell's family would also like their ancestors' place in history restored, and they say it starts with telling his tale.
This man was a man for his race. It was more like human race, not just for the black race.